Hi everyone. I know already you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, the screen looks so much different. Yes, it does. Because today, I want to actually just kind of get into modeling and making sense of multiplication of decimals. And there's no better way than to literally use this model we see before us. So let's have a little bit of grace as I kind of play around with the structure. No, yeah, whatever. Gosh, I wanted to move this, but now I can't figure out how to do that. Nope, don't want to text. There we go. Okay, anyway, so today we are going to talk about multiplication of a decimal and a decimal. I did not want that. Okay, let's see. Let's try this again. All right, let's go back up to this. So we're talking about like we have been talking about products or multiplication of decimals, right? Products of decimals. But there we go. What we're going to talk about today is really what happens when you're actually multiplying a decimal with another decimal. And we've haven't really looked at that so far. We have talked about something like, oh, I have a decimal like 5 and 43 hundredths, and I'm gonna multiply that by a whole number of 8. Like that's happened. But today we're gonna like really focus on what occurs when we multiply two decimals together, and not just two decimals together in this case of having decimals greater than 1. In fact, in this case today, both decimals are going to be smaller than 1. And so that's where this model comes in, because I actually want you to see how this works. Cool thing about the model is it really paints the picture of like what happens with decimals. So like an example of that might be like, let's say we have 7/10 times 8/10, right? And so again, notice what I mean by we don't have any whole numbers. And we're going to use this model to represent how this works, because it's a really cool, interesting way to think about how we multiply our decimals. So for starters, if we thought about, again, doing some form of estimation, that's where this gets tricky. Like I could round both of these to 1, and that means it's about 1, and then what? Like I don't know. Like I don't even know where to go from there. If we think about that concept of repeated addition, that means I have 7/10 groups of 8/10. Like I don't even know how to put that together as repeated addition, right? How do you show 7/10 of 8/10? Like, what? That didn't even compute in my brain right now. Like that actually does not make sense. So this is why this model works so good for something like this. And after looking at the model and like playing around with the model, there will be more of like a how do we solve something like this? But today I kind of want to talk about the how. And so let's dive into that. So if we think about the concept of multiplication, we also know that multiplication itself, right, is literally an array. Something like 3 times 4. Again, that's 3 groups of 4, which I could say, here's 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, and that's 1 group. And then here's my second group. And then here's my third group, right? 3 groups of 4. And if we kind of look at that concept of an array, well, what does that do? It creates rows and columns. And that's what's so cool about this, right? This is rows and columns. So this is a lot like that area. I shouldn't even say like area work. It is that area work, right? 3 and 4. We have 3 rows, 4 columns. All together, that equals 12 of these squares. And 3 times 4 is 12. Okay. So that's like that gist again of like multiplication is also the form of area. So that's why I have a model. I actually built a model in which I can use to help me multiply these decimals, because we're actually looking at these rows and columns. And so it's actually easier to see and represent 7/10 of a row and 8/10 of a row to help us find what our answer would be when multiplying these. So let's dive into that. This work over here, if we think about this concept, this block here, right? This represents 1. This is a representation of the number 1. It's 1 block. Now that block, as you can see, has been cut into 100 pieces. So we are definitely working with hundredths. And I can hear you already saying to yourself, well, why is it broken into hundredths if these are tenths? That's a good point. I'm glad you recognize that. Remember, it still works because 10 hundredths will be 1/10. It'll work out. So anyway, moving on. So to help us visualize this, what we're really thinking about is we have 7/10 of 1. So I'm going to go back to that old school work of like how to just shade in a model. Like had I given you, oh wait, can I try this? This is fun. Wait, nope, get out of the way. Is it this one? Yeah, cool. Put this over here. Had I given you just 7/10 in this model and I said to you, oh, will you shade in 7/10? You'd be like, yes, I got that, because that means we're just, wait. That means we're just shading in 7/10 of this model, right? So that's 1/10. Ooh, I don't like the way that looks. Hold on. No, there's no back. I'm just gonna commit. So 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. I'll have to get better on the next one. 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, right? Does that, I hope it makes sense what I did there, right? I shaded in 7/10 of this model. If you need another way of looking at it, actually, I'll use one of these, right? This would be a 10th. Oh, shoot. Nope. Wait. Yeah, like this. There we go. Oh, you can barely see it. Oh, I like this idea for the next one. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. See, I'm learning as we're doing it. This is a brand new little thing. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, so we shaded in 7/10 of this. But the reality is we have 7/10 as my columns, my up and down. But then over here, as you can see, I have 8/10 as my rows. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to shade in 8/10 of the rows. So that would be, oh no, hold on, like this. Okay, that would be right here. This would be my 8/10. And I'm going to show you why I'm doing what I'm doing because it will make a little more sense. So I'm shading in all that is 8/10 of a row. Trust me, the next example will make more sense if this one's already a struggle. So as I model that, what we're seeing is that if I have 7/10 of 1 times 8/10 of 1, to find my answer of that, I'm actually focusing on where my rows and columns overlap. That's actually the multiplication of it, which is kind of crazy, but also really cool because you can actually see here how small things get. That when actually you multiply 7/10 by 8/10, you get something even smaller than that. And you can see that's what it is, because now this goes back to that hundreds. Keep in mind, each one of these is 100, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should have known that. That was 7/10. We have 7 of them. And then down here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 7 by 8 means in here I actually have 56 hundredths, right? Because we'd have 56 of these that we count. And then that would actually be our product, 56 hundredths. Okay, now I'm gonna totally own that was probably really confusing because I was also figuring out how to use this model while I was teaching, so that did get a little weird. So let's look at another one of these. Stay with me, you got this. It will make sense. What I need to do is figure out, nope, that would be saving. How do we just delete this whole thing? Oh, let's do this. Clear all. Okay, cool. So let's start over. Going back to that. So that was a really rough first example. I'm gonna pull out another model here. Actually want this to be like clear. Okay, cool, like this. And again, let's think of I'm gonna write, oh, nope. I'm gonna write a multiplication of decimals problem across the bottom here so we have some more space. So let's maybe do something like 3/10. Oh, I'll color code it, times 7/10. So again, remember, this is actually a true array. This would be the concept that I have 3/10 of 1 times 7/10 of 1. And remember, this model over here is 1. This model represents 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to shade that out. We're going to shade it so we can see it. So I'm going to start, and this time I'm actually going to use the blocks as shading because I think that will go easier. I'm going to shade in 3/10. So here's 1/10. See how I do with this. I don't. Getting better. Nope. Still don't want that. Don't want a line. Don't want that. I just want to hold. Nope. See, I don't want to draw it. Is this fun watching me struggle? I bet. Everyone loves it. Nope. I already knew that wasn't the oh, there we go. Okay, now I'm grabbing it. I gotta figure out how to grab it after I'm done writing. Okay, so here's 1/10, right? I shaded 1/10. Here's 2/10 again, and then here's 3/10. So I shaded in 3/10 of my model. I'm gonna label that at the top up here so you can see that. Of course, that means I'm gonna have to go back to figure out how to grab again. But this, whoa, and that is, I don't know what that is. That was a wild line. This is 3/10. And then we're gonna actually then shade in 7/10 going the other way. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So there's 7/10 going this way. 7/10. And now to find out what I really get out of this is it's looking where these cross. So I'm going to try to draw on this where they overlap. And that would be this area right here in which the two overlap. That's going to be my answer. So I could really just count squares to see what I get. So 3/10 times 7/10 is going to be, and remember, I'm counting the squares, so now I'm counting hundreds. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 hundredths. And as you start to do this with the models and start to look at the answers, you might already start to see a pattern of how you might be able to do this with just multiplication. But I'm going to stick with these models for now because we actually do need to know how to do these models, and they do need to be something that you have to recognize. So let's try another one. So I'm getting better. It's getting clearer. I like what's happening. So let's go ahead and try this next one. So I'm going to pull out another model. I am going to make it a color that's kind of clear so we can shade it in. And let's say in this instance, let's do, nope. Just when I said I thought I had it. Okay. Let's do something like 9/10 times 1/10. Okay. So again, remember, these are rows and columns. This is just a row of 9/10, and these are columns of 1/10. So when I go to shade that in, I can do that. So I'm going to start right now with my column. So I only need 1/10 for my column. So shade that in. Got that. Check. So this is 1/10 right here. And then we're going to, oh, let's see. Can I, oh yeah, we'll go like this. Now I'm going to do 9/10 as my row. So there's 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7. Oh, I was doing so good. What do we do? 7/10. No, wait, no. Wait, it's maybe something down here. Where's? Nope. Oh my gosh. Nope. Definitely not that. How do I why did it stop letting me grab? This is crazy. Okay, let's just try another one. This one's not lined up. That's what it's gonna drive me crazy. There's 9/10. I don't know why this one's sticking out. I don't want to draw. I want to grab. Where's the grab tool? The best part is I hope you're literally screaming at the computer, find the grab tool. You know where it is. It's obvious. You know, and I don't know. What? Well, whatever. Okay. So again, let's just imagine this one is pushed over. Man, just when I was bragging about how I had this down. Now, in order to find the answer of this, realized I zoomed out. Okay. And find the answer of this. We're looking at where these overlap. So where they're going to overlap is this realm right here. And again, we can just sit there and kind of count out what this is. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hundredths. Because remember, it's just a small square now. And that's actually, again, another way we can do this without me freaking out about not being able to figure out the tools of this new screen. This is so fun. Okay, so we're going to do one more because I'm determined to actually be able to do a great model for you. So here we go. Here is our model. There we go. I like that better. Here's our model. Let's say our multiplication problem is going to be let's say 4/10 times 5/10. Okay. Now, again, we're using these models to represent how to multiply when you have two decimals that are both smaller than 1. So again, this is just a rows and columns thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shade in 4/10 as my columns. Remember, this is a 10th, right? So there's 1, 4, or 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. Next, we are going to shade 5/10 as my rows. I'm gonna hopefully do this. Oh yeah, it worked. Okay. Oh, dang it. Nope. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait, hold on. This is madness. Oh, I got it. I figured it out. Oh, I finally figured it out. Okay. All right. I gotta delete these. Hold on. Okay. So now we're doing 5/10. So there's, and they're rows. So there's 1/10. There's 2/10. I want that to be brown. Okay. 3/10. 4/10. And 5/10. So, right. So I had 4/10 as row or as columns and 5/10 as my rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Now to find the answer of that again, what I'm doing, I'm gonna do one more after this because now I finally get the tools. Is we're looking where they overlap, which is right here. They overlap here. This is where they cross. And then we're just counting how many of those hundreds we have because they're squares, so the little squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have 20 hundredths. And again, like I said, maybe you're noticing a pattern here. Maybe you're seeing something. Okay, I definitely have to do one more because now I feel like I can nail this without messing with the tools. So we're going to do one more and then I'm done. I promise. I promise. All right, let's get our model out. Check this. I got it. We're going to go here. Okay, now we're going to draw and we're going to write our equation or our expression, I guess, in this case. Let's do, oh, that's a hard color to see. Let's do 3/10 times 4/10. We'll make it somewhat less painful. Okay, so again, what that means is I'm going to shade in 3/10 of this model. And again, that's where I'm using these base 10 blocks over here. So this is 1/10. Boom. 2/10. Boom. 3/10. Bam. Those are my rows. Next, I'm going to shade in 4/10 of my columns. So I'm going to change the color so we can see this. Here's 1/10. Boom. 2/10. Bang. 3/10. Wowzers. And 4/10. Ooh la la. Now, where they cross over is the answer to 3/10 times 4/10. And where they cross up, nope. Oh man, remember I said I was going to do so good? There we go. Okay, I got this. Where they cross over is this realm here, right? That's where they share that. So if we count again, we have 100th, 200th, 300th, 400th, 500s, 600s, 700s, 800s, 900s, 1000s, 1100s, 1200s. Okay. And so that's what today's all about is you are going to see the patterns. You are going to be able to start multiplying and doing strategies. But what I really want you to be able to do is make sense of these models. In fact, I'm going to be asking people to be using these models. The work itself is actually not going to be on, you're not going to have a practice buddy today. So even though you watch this video and put up with me for 20 minutes, you're still going to do the work on paper because I want us using these models. So that's it. I'm done. I'm gonna zip it. You did great. Thanks for putting up with me. I hope this makes sense. Ask lots of questions. You're awesome.